Day 29 of the travel vlog. So, where are we going? Where's our next stop? Is it the Philippines?
Well, if you've been watching along, you'll know that we've been covering all this week destinations that we're planning on visiting for our 12-month Southeast Asia tour, shall we say.
Slow travel tour.
Yes, and today we're going to talk about one of the stops towards the end of the 12 months, which is the Philippines.
Okay, excellent.
I've done my research,
Yeah.
because I like to do some research on every area. So excuse us if we're looking down. It's obviously because we want to get things right for you. And bear with us with the pronunciations again, because they're not easy.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit to go through as normal. And obviously, if you've got any comments, we'd love to hear them as we go through. Yeah?
Always, yeah. Please drop a comment and give any advice as well if you've been there. We are planning on staying in the Philippines for approximately a month.
Yes. Yep. So, where to base yourself for a month? Now, that's a good question, isn't it?
Yes, I think that's the key question really, is
Yes.
where would you base yourself? And I based my research around, we don't really want to be moving every couple of days. So I was trying to, find somewhere where we could use as a base and then explore from there. Because it is only a month. It's not as if we're spending an really extended period there. So
Yeah.
the first place that was recommended is Cebu City. I think that's how you pronounce it. Cebu, Cebu City. And actually, I made a note of this area because one of our viewers actually recommended that we go to Cebu.
All right, cool.
When we get to Philippines. So if that was you, thank you so much. So obviously I remembered that and I made a note of it. And it was the first place that came up actually in the research of where to go. So that was interesting.
Yeah, so it does help. So please do drop some comments below.
Yeah, and join us along the journey.
Join us on the journey.
Yes.
So where are we going with Cebu City?
Cebu City, yes. So.
And that's Mactan. What's Mactan? Is that the area of the city?
Possibly. But the reasons that it's saying that it's a good place to base yourself from, the first being that there's an international airport nearby.
Okay.
So I would imagine it won't be far to travel once you arrive there.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing?
Yeah, good infrastructure, hospitals, co-working if needed. So, yeah, it's a good place to land from the sounds of it, and get your bearings, which is always a good idea when you get into a new country, and then decide where you're going to go. I mean, we'll always have an itinerary, but we're not going to stick to it 100% because it is about freedom and it's about lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Flexibility, that's the main thing for us, I think.
So it talks about day trips then?
So from this city, you can do a few day trips, which is quite nice. One is to a place called Moalboal. Again, forgive my pronunciation. But that area is famous for white beaches, great for snorkeling and diving, with the famous sardine run. Do you know what that is?
And sea turtles.
And sea turtles. Now that piqued my interest.
Because, I bet it did.
Yeah, because
first time it's stood out.
Well, it's the first time it's been mentioned.
Yes.
Sea turtles in any of our destinations so far, and if you didn't see one of our previous videos, I do talk about a trip to Mexico. It
was Mexico.
Where I was promised to swim with turtles, and cut a very long story short, I didn't. I didn't see one turtle, sadly. So if that is true, and there is an opportunity to see some sea turtles, I would definitely be up for that.
Oh, I know you would. I mean, at the end of the day, I couldn't stop you if I wanted to. I mean, you'll be there in a heartbeat, I think.
Well, I think because I was so disappointed last time. You know, when you build your expectations up and you're so excited about something, and then it's just such a huge disappointment that, yes, I think I would. It hasn't put me off, and I would, try again, shall we say.
Have you swum with turtles, and if so, where? We'd like to hear.
Yes, that would be
what
really
was your
good.
experience? Because it is on Debbie's bucket list.
Yeah, there's not many things on my bucket list, to be fair, but yes, that is one that I would like to tick off.
Hmm.
And another day trip is Oslob,
Yep.
which is world famous for its white shark watching.
No, whale.
Oh, whale shark,
Yeah.
sorry.
And I'm the one who's dyslexic.
Whale shark watching experience, and tourists can also swim alongside these gentle giants.
How cool would that be?
Yes. Now, can you picture what that looks like?
Oh, they're massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they're plankton eaters, so
Yeah.
they're completely harmless to
Yeah.
us. And when they're feeding, their mouths open up to, like 3 feet
Like a
wide
whale.
or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is probably why they're called shark whales, but they
Yeah.
are actually a shark.
Yes.
I think they're one of the largest fish species.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, would you do that?
I think I would. I think
you?
I'd have to do that. And I'd have to face all my fears, and I would have to do that because that would be a hell of an experience.
Well, apparently this Oslob is the place to go for that amazing experience.
Whether I'd stay in for long is another matter, but I would definitely have to do it.
I would give it a try.
Yes.
Oh, I'm really glad you said that, because Patrick doesn't like the sea normally, so that's cool.
I have a fear of sharks.
And this is a shark, but it's
a
they're
whale
very
shark.
Yeah, they're very friendly and very docile apparently, and they enjoy swimming with humans.
Yeah. See, I had a shark come up to me in Key West.
Nice. What do you say hello?
Yeah, and I saw the fin, and it felt like it was right in my chest. I froze. It went round me. It went down. It went round me, and then it swam off. But that was enough for me. It scared the life out of me.
I bet. Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah. Apparently, I ran back to the beach.
And another place you could go for on a day trip is Bohol. Bohol?
Bohol.
Bohol, and it's famous for its chocolate hills.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I was intrigued by that. I thought, what's chocolate hills? So basically, it's a geological formation of over 1,200 perfectly cone-shaped hills.
Oh.
So maybe it looks like, I'm guessing they're brown chocolate.
Yeah, maybe interesting to find out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very unique landscape.
If you're interested, do subscribe.
Yeah.
Follow our journey if you'd like to, and maybe we'll find out together. Yes.
And then one other place that they're suggesting to go on a day trip to is Malapascua. And that's a diver's paradise known for its thresher sharks.
Yeah, I won't be swimming there, I'm afraid.
No,
not with me.
Not so friendly sharks. So yeah. I mean, I don't know much about thresher sharks.
I think they're quite harmless.
Well, they must be if the divers are going in.
Yeah. Well, saying that, divers go in with tiger sharks and stuff like that, and they're very dangerous. I see. It's always funny, isn't it? When you've got a fear of something, you know a lot about it, and I do know quite a bit about sharks. That's probably where the fear came from. The amount of attacks and everything.
Wow. And another thing that's mentioned about Cebu City is that it's good for island hopping from Cebu Port or Mactan. So Mactan is obviously an area within Cebu, I'm presuming.
Yeah.
And it's very convenient for any kind of travel that you might want to do.
So that's good, because Philippines is all about islands, isn't it?
It is, and I think it's quite spread out over quite a large area as well. So I'm really glad that came up after your recommendation. So yeah, that's cool. It did mention another place.
Okay.
Damaguet.
I would say Duma myself.
Dumaguete.
Guete, yeah.
Again, apologies for the pronunciation.
Dumaguete, maybe.
That's a small university city with a very relaxed vibe, apparently.
And it's got a good expat community, so that the Wi-Fi and everything must be pretty good there.
Well, it's saying it's best for a very chilled coastal base.
Oh,
if you want a chilled coastal base, and you can do easy day trips from there to Apo Island.
That's diving again.
Yeah, or Sigwidjaw, which is beautiful beaches and waterfalls.
See, I quite like the sound of that because I do love waterfalls. I mean, waterfalls are stunning, aren't they?
Yes.
And especially with pristine beaches.
I mean, it's supposed to be powder white sands there as well. And this area, or that island, is also known as the Mystic Island because of the presence of folk healers and their practices of spiritualism. Even these days, people come to witness the preparation of brews and try the medicinal powers and herbs.
Yeah, a bit of witchcraft for me. Nah, not my cup of tea. Being a Christian and everything, nah.
So maybe we'll just go and look at the waterfalls then,
Yeah.
if we go there.
Yeah.
But it's good to tell you, what these islands are well known for. And then another place you can go from Damaguete is Bais.
Yeah, BAIS.
And
that's whale and dolphin watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've only been dolphin watching once before, haven't we, together?
Yes.
And that was, what was it called?
It was a super pod. We were very lucky.
Yeah.
We came across a super pod of dolphins.
Because I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever experienced a super pod of dolphins. I've seen dolphins and I've swam with dolphins, but that's my first experience of super pod of dolphins. But apparently you can see whales and dolphins from that island. Well, it's actually it's in the straits between Tanan and Bais, however you say it.
Okay.
And it's one of the cleanest and safest cities of the Philippines.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So that'd be interesting.
Yes. And the third recommendation to spend a month in the Philippines is
Manila.
The capital.
Always heard of it. Don't know anything about it. So I'm really looking forward to finding out and exploring. I do like a city, see, because I'm probably more of a city boy than you, aren't I?
Well, you're definitely more of a city person than me. And it says here, it's only recommending you go there if you want city life, because it is a big city.
Yeah.
But it's a good base for flights around the country, but less recommended for long stays.
Okay, so
unless you really love cities.
We might do a hotel there or a long weekend or something.
Yeah, because I think that would be doable from Cebu City.
Yep.
To go to Manila.
Because
I'd like to experience it too.
Yeah, because the idea is to have accommodation, be it an apartment or a villa, really, where we can put as a base and then go from there. And maybe a hotel here and a hotel there. I
think that would be our best way forward. If it's affordable, stick with us and see if it is.
Yeah.
Because we'll be letting you know.
We shall find out if these dreams and aspirations are in budget.
Yeah, or just a pipe
dream.
So on to top things to do. Obviously, it's obvious, the first one, isn't it?
Yeah. Island hopping and beaches.
Yeah, I think that's what it's all about there. And the marine life, that's what it's coming across to me as.
So the first one's Palawan, El Nido, and it's got a comma, and then Corona. Coron. Maybe. Yeah. They must be areas within that area because it says it's boasting to UNESCO, UNESCO World Heritage Sites. A treasure trove of wildlife and biodiversity with gentle, friendly people. So that sounds cool.
Yeah, my experience of any Philippine people that I've come across is they're all gentle and friendly. They're just such beautiful people.
Well, I actually lived with two, a couple, for about a year because I don't know if any of you guys know, I was homeless for a while.
Well, I doubt they'd know that.
I don't know if I'd mentioned it, but I was homeless and I got back on my feet and I lived in a room in their house and they were lovely.
Yeah,
I've always had lovely people.
Yes, I've always had a really lovely feeling from Filipino people, and I've met quite a few through work. So underneath the island hopping and beaches again is a place called Bohol, and particularly Alona Beach and Panglao. Panglao, yeah. Panglao, and that's well known for its coral reefs and unusual geological formations. So maybe we'll see some karsts again, like we talked about yesterday where did we talk about yesterday? Vietnam, yes.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Yes.
My favourite saying in a film.
Yesterday we were talking about Vietnam. So I'm wondering if the geological formations may be similar. Who knows?
Yeah.
So the next one.
What's that? Camiguin?
I think so. Camiguin
Island, and that's springs and waterfalls. So again, that's on my to-do list. Anything.
Well, this might be a better
springs
one.
And waterfalls, known as the Island of Fire, Majestic volcanoes and hot springs offer a unique experience away from the more popular and crowded spots in the Philippines. So I think I would like that for definite.
I think that would probably be better than the one we talked about a second ago.
Okay.
Because there's no witchcraft there.
Yeah.
So, make you feel more comfortable. So, yeah, that sounds quite nice. And then the last one is Bantayan Island, which is near Cebu. And that's got pristine beaches, clear waters, laid-back charm. That sounds nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, one of the most underrated
islands
in the Philippines.
That might be worth a visit then. Hopefully not too commercialised if it's underrated.
Yeah.
If people are not automatically flocking there.
Yeah, it's not on the to-do list of a lot of people. So yeah, that'd
maybe.
be cool.
Maybe.
And that's something. One thing I love about slow travel, the idea of slow travel, is meeting the locals and asking where's the places to go and visit. We've done that before, and you'll find some places that you wouldn't find before. And some of the waters and rivers and lakes and waterfalls we found by being pointed off into a direction that we wouldn't have gone to otherwise.
Yes, by asking the locals. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then there's a little bit about culture and history.
Yeah.
So, did you know there were Spanish colonial
towns there? I didn't know it was. Well, it's obviously a colonial Spanish island at one stage.
At one stage it obviously was, and I didn't know that either. No. So that's very interesting. And I think there's still quite a few with the leftover Spanish colonial architecture,
which is lovely, stunning.
Which is, they say, a big contrast between the natural Philippines.
Yeah. Oh, right.
So it's a very different architecture.
It's a bit like the British colonial is a big difference. Yes.
Yes.
Right, cool.
So that would be quite interesting. Do you want me to say the next bit?
Yeah. Oh, yes, please.
So the next bit is Intramuros, and that's an area actually in Manila. So that's in the capital.
Yeah.
And it has Spanish-era landmarks like the Fort Santiago and ruins of its old walls and amazing architecture.
That'd be cool. I like
so
that.
So that would be good.
Yeah.
I would like to go to Manila and definitely have that on our list, I think.
Yeah. Is that the sort of thing you look at when you go away? Do you like the ruins and the going back and finding out about history and really looking into the country, which we do love?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, let us know if it's your thing.
Mm.
And then local food tours are available throughout.
Excellent.
Which we're always up for a food tour. Yeah. And then on to things to consider for a month in the Philippines. To be fair, I think it's pretty similar to most of the other countries we're visiting, but we will go through it quickly.
Yes.
UK passport holders get 30 days visa free.
But they can extend in the country.
Once you're in the country, that is. And again, like we said yesterday and a few times before, we'll probably be getting our visas in advance anyway. We'll be getting them online.
Yeah, and you should always check that yourself.
Yeah. And I think you have to make sure that your onward travel is already booked.
And I think that's with most countries now as well.
Yeah, you have to
think
prove.
You just turn up.
You have to prove your exit.
The first time I turned up into America without an exit, and that was a long, long time ago. It was when I was in my early 20s. Because I didn't have an exit plan, I had to prove that I could look after myself for a period of time.
Financially.
Yeah, and they probably wouldn't even allow that.
I think things have changed so much now and got so much more strict.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's one thing that you have to consider if you're going anywhere similar to the adventure we're going on.
Yes, exactly.
Transport. That's interesting.
Flights often cheaper and easier than ferries for longer distances.
I'm surprised at that, because usually a ferry is a more reasonable price than flights.
Is it?
Yeah, so that does surprise me. But it does say ferries work well for shorter routes.
And to be honest, I actually prefer a ferry.
I know.
Than a plane, because I don't like queuing and all the.
You still have to queue to get on a ferry.
But that's only if you're going by car. If you're taking your own car, just walking onto a ferry is very simple. I've only done that once, and that was from Ireland to the UK. And it was very easy, very pleasant.
Yeah, we've been on a couple of little ferries on our trips, just to go across to another island.
Yeah,
you do have to queue.
Yeah, but it's not for hours.
It's not hours,
It's not hours.
No. And it is, I suppose, a more laid-back form of travel, isn't it?
Yes.
And for somewhere like the Philippines, which is mainly lots of islands, it's probably the only way to get around, really.
Mm,
I would
yeah,
have thought.
yeah.
And the traffic in cities can be crazy.
Yes.
Not like busy, crazy. So you have to plan accordingly. I don't know how
Yeah.
you'd plan accordingly for crazy traffic.
I don't know either. I mean, at the end of the day, you'll have to subscribe, follow us on our journey, and come along with us and see how we cope with that.
Yeah, see how crazy it
let's
is.
see what happens. So the next one's weather.
Yeah.
So the dry season is November to May, which is the best time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the wet season is June to October. Some islands still fine, but watch typhoons. So typhoons is a biggie out there at certain times of the year.
Yes, yeah, and we will be taking that into consideration.
Yes, definitely. So money. ATMs are common in big towns, but again, cash is needed in remote areas.
Yes.
So always carry some cash with you. And then that seems to be across the board with Southeast Asia, doesn't it?
I think, well, all of our destinations, that we've talked about so far, it's always been recommended to take a certain amount of cash with you. So, yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be interesting to see if we can gauge it right of how much cash we need, because we don't want to end up with loads of currencies from all these different countries, at the end of the 12 months. So, yeah.
But it is saying on the budget, it says 25 to 40 pounds a day for mid-range.
Yeah, British pounds, that is 20 to 40 British pounds a day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Can't beat that.
Yeah.
Connectivity.
Again, as we've mentioned before in our other videos, SIM cards are cheap. It's Globe or Smart, they're saying in the Philippines. But again, I've got eSIM now, which is an app, which is basically, instead of getting SIM cards, it's a Wi-Fi operator through an app that basically sorts out your SIM for each country, and you buy the amount of
data
that you require. Yeah. Yeah, so it's quick, it's easy, and it's simple. You don't have to go searching for SIM cards. That's why we're doing it, because I think it would be a lot easier than trying to find SIM cards in some of these places if it runs out.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So it says the internet can be slow on remote islands, which concerns me a bit, because obviously we have to upload videos to YouTube for you guys as well as for us. So
we'll just have to see.
There might be a couple of times where we can't do a daily vlog.
Well, I'm not sure that a daily vlog is actually going to be the way we'll go once we leave anyway, because just being realistic and practical, I think, it might be that we will have to do every other or whatever.
Or go to a couple of times a week, maybe.
Yeah, because
we want to show you some nice experiences, and we want to enjoy the experiences as well.
Well, and also because they will be experiences, and actually, showing you the environment and our activities. They're much larger videos, and they take a lot more editing, and just being practical about it. It's very easy for us to stand in our home at the moment and talk about all of what we're going to do, but going to these islands, that takes a day anyway. So
when each video takes at least an hour or two, doesn't it?
At the moment, to edit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot
to put it up into YouTube.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that you're probably not interested in, but but yes, just to manage expectations. Once we get on the road, whether the internet is slow or not, I think we will be reducing down. We won't be able to do daily vlogs at that point. I don't believe so anyway, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
Then health and safety. Again, as with most places, bottled and filtered water only.
Yeah.
Don't drink the tap water.
And watch out for strong currents on some beaches, which is the same anywhere in the world.
Yeah, it's common sense, isn't it?
Yeah. Luckily, English is widely spoken, so that's handy. Although we do have our interpreter, and the Philippines is very friendly and welcoming. Well, that makes sense from the Filipinos that we've met in our time, in our lives over the years. They've always been very friendly anyway, haven't they?
Yes. Yeah.
So looking forward to meeting them in Filipinos in their own environment, basically.
Yes, it'd be
in their
lovely.
own culture, in their own country, and learning from them, which is going to be amazing. That's what I'm looking forward to, seeing what they can offer to open our minds.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait.
So again, respect, modesty in rural or church settings.
Yeah, which you'd do anyway, wouldn't you?
Yes. You would hope so anyway.
So the summary for the Philippines, a 1 month stay in the Philippines, is that if you want a single base, as we do, it's better to be in Cebu or Dumaguete, because they have strong transport links, great medical and co-working if needed, plenty of trips within a few hours, and decent infrastructure for long stays.
Yeah, so that makes sense to us to
Yeah.
probably stay in one of those areas and take that advice.
Yeah.
Because we're not going out trekking and stuff like that, and that's not what we're looking for. We haven't got the time. Although we're slow travelling, we are, we're going through quite a bit of
Territory
to actually enjoy the country and see
I
it.
and I wonder sometimes if it is actually going to still be too fast paced for us.
Yes.
So that would be interesting to see.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what slow travel really is.
Yeah, and do we look at slow travel after the 12 months and say, well, actually, a month in each place
Isn't long enough.
Isn't considered slow travel
Yeah.
to us. It's how
Yeah.
we'll feel about it.
Yeah, maybe you need a minimum of 3 months or something to settle in.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, we've done a bit of it for about a month, haven't we, abroad, and you're just getting into the culture. You're just getting into what's around you. The local. I know it sounds daft, but the local shops, where the supermarkets are, what sort of food, because you're realigning your food expectations as well, because there's different foods and everything else. So there's quite a bit to first couple of weeks to get your head round, isn't there?
Yeah, and that's apart from doing all kinds of activities and videos and
exactly.
Yeah, so
and finding
we might
train
feel
stations and bus stations.
we may feel that it's too rushed for us. Who knows?
Yeah,
who knows?
It'd be interesting.
Be interesting to see.
So do come along if you'd like to know. Just hit that subscribe button and join us on our journey. We'd love you to come along with us.
We would. We want you to not miss a thing.
So I think that's it for now.
It is.
Bye for now, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.